This video is going to be a fresh new guide on Iron Fist. He got a lot of adjustments with the Season 1.5 update, so we want to go back over this hero and let you know if he's viable or not. Starting off with his primary attack, it has a 6 meter range, so that's how far you can lock onto enemies, which is pretty far to be honest. It doesn't really sound like it when you're thinking about the numbers, but when you actually use it in game, you feel like you're locking on from so far away. And what you can notice is not only do you lock on, but the first 4 strikes deal 30 damage, as you can see here. Then the last strike knocks the enemy back and also deals 50 damage. So if you're going to miss any strikes, make sure you miss the first 4 and not the final one, because that is where you're dealing most of your damage. Now we also want to quickly go over his passive ability as well, which is basically chi absorption. So as you take out any enemy, so once you kill them, you gain 50 HP shields. So as you can see there, Iron Fist's next ability is the Kunlun Kick, which basically is a 12 meter distance kick, and it has varied damage depending on the health of the enemy. So if the enemy is at 50% or less HP, you deal 70 damage, or if they're at 100 HP, you get 35 damage. So you want to make sure you're using this near the end of your combo, because you're going to be dealing way more damage to finish off opponents. But what it's actually also really good at is obviously initiating fights, because you can close that gap really quickly. Iron Fist's next ability is very special. For 3 seconds, you get healing of 100 per second. And then anything bonus of that is going to be shields. So you can get up to 150 HP shields, which before it only used to be 50 HP shields. So as you can see, you're getting way more shields now. Iron Fist's next ability comes in 2 parts. The first part is Dragon's Defense, which is 1 second, and it allows you to block any incoming attack for up to 1 second. And it also converts any damage you do into health. Now, the damage block conversion is 1.5, so you'll get 1.5 shields depending on how much damage you do. So you're getting more shields than you're getting damage input to you, but it does cap off at 200 shields. So you can't get any more than 200 shields there. Now, this only lasts 1 second, so you do need to time it perfectly. Here, I've got the practice mode settings on, so you can literally block unlimited, but you really need to get the timing down on this. I think that's super important for this one. So the second part to this ability is his fast firing fists. I don't really know exactly what they're called in the game, and I don't even want to try to pronounce it, to be honest with you. But as you can see here, he does punch rapidly. Now, they did adjust this. Before, it had a base of 19 damage. And now it's got a base of 10 damage plus 1.7% of the enemy's max health. Now we're going to go into more detail about this in the second section of this video, because I want to explain exactly what this means for this character. His next 2 abilities come hand in hand, and he's got a triple jump, and he's also can run on walls. Now with these 2 combined, you can literally stay on walls forever. You can climb basically indefinitely if you time it all well, because the triple jump lets him basically stay on walls all the time. So as you can see here, you can pretty much float on walls if you time this perfectly. So you can basically stay in the air as well. So lastly, for the ability section, we have his ultimate, which lasts 12 seconds. It gives you a 30% damage boost. It gives you a damage range boost on his secondary attack as well. And it also gives you a range boost on his kick. It also gives you a 20% movement boost. And just keep in mind, this is not boosting your health or anything like that in any way, shape or form. Obviously, it might feel like that if you're taking out a lot of enemies because you're getting the extra HP shields, but it's not actually giving you any additional health, so you can die pretty easily. So we're going to go over additional details now, and with the additional details, with his fast firing punches, it's percentage based. Now what this means is that it's going to do different damage to different HPs of heroes, especially if you're starting off killing them when they're full health. But again, even if they're not at full health, it's going to change based on their health. Now, we have done a full TTK breakdown for all DPS heroes within Marvel Rivals, so please watch that video. It'll be linked at the end of this one and in the description. And also, we want to explain this attack. So basically, for any hero that is under 550 HP, you're actually going to kill slower with these fast firing punches. So you're actually going to kill them slower than we did before with the other attack when it had 19 base damage. So that was before the update. However, when it comes to heroes that have higher than 550 HP, we're actually going to kill them quicker than what we could before. So essentially any heroes that are above 550 HP, we're actually now dealing 19.35 damage, and that only then increases as the HP of the hero gets higher and higher. So for example, Groot is a 800 or 850 HP hero, and at that point we're dealing 27 damage per strike, which is absolutely insane. The other thing with Iron Fist is that you can basically fly with this hero. So, and to do this, you do need to use his base attack. Don't use the fast firing fist, it's not going to help you that much. The base attack allows you to stay in the air for as long as possible. So if you're trying to fight a flying hero, use his normal attack and basically just aim in the general direction of that enemy, and you're going to get easy lock-ons to Iron Mans, to Storms, to Human Torches. The last important thing I want to talk about with Iron Fist is his kick attack, is to use him to escape, because he covers a lot of distance with this kick and the cooldown on it's pretty long. So you should already be in a good position without the kick to actually deal damage, but once you've dealt the damage to the enemy players, as you can see here, you want to be able to use your double jump and then basically the quick dash to escape and get the hell out of there. Getting into the gameplay section and how you want to actually use this new Iron Fist that we have in Season 1.5. There's a lot of different things to him, but if you do want to see his TTK numbers and how they stack up against all the other DPS heroes, please check out our previous video. I'll leave it linked at the end of this one. Now, when it comes to how you can use Iron Fist, it's a lot of different ways, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. This is one of the most versatile heroes in this game, so you do want to use him in a couple of different ways. So we'll start off with the new one, which is his tank busting ability. Now, as we've showed the numbers, he does output more damage to tanks than he does to lower HP heroes. Now that's only with his fast firing fists. So if you want to take out a tank, make sure you do have this ability available, because this is what's going to allow you to kill tanks way quicker. Now you can still kill a tank at a reasonable speed with your primary fire, but this is the one that you want to be using. Now the way I like to do this is that you want to hold an off angle, similar to the way you'd play like a Wolverine or a Black Panther essentially. Wait to see the enemy's backline, essentially pull off a flank, but before you do that, you want to use your healing abilities to get the 450 shields, and then once you've got the 450 HP, then you want to activate the fast firing punch and then dive in on the enemy tanks or their backline, whatever you want to do. Mainly aim for the tanks if you're using the fast fist. If you're not using the fast fist, then you can aim for obviously some of their healers or whatever you want to do there. Now when you're trying to take out the enemy's backline when it comes to healers, it's a similar process, although you don't basically use the HP heal straight away. So what you want to do is, if you're at full health of course, you want to dive into the backline, deal damage or kill their healers, whatever you can pull off. Then when you're almost about to die, and you need to time this really well, you need to escape with his double jump and a spinning kick, get to a good position that's not too far away from the enemy team, and then what you want to do is use the healing ability to heal yourself up at that point, and then do the process again so the enemy's at low HP, and then you can basically go straight back into the fight. Another thing I like to do with Iron Fist is basically stick to a wall above the enemy team. So basically this is similar to what you do with Spider-Man or Venom, when you're basically sticking to a wall and waiting to dive straight down onto them. You can do it with Iron Fist as well. And using this similar tactic, you can actually take out flying heroes very easily with Iron Fist, by the way. And especially with the prominence of the Human Torch now, Iron Man getting his buff, and Storm still being really strong within the meta. There's a lot of flying heroes now, and Iron Fist is one of the best counters to these guys because he outputs an immense amount of damage with his primary attacks. The last and final tip for Iron Fist users is knowing when to escape. This is something I struggle with, to be honest. I've always played heroes that have got a little bit more HP than Iron Fist, and even though you get a buff to his overall HP as well as his sustainability in the backline with his health shield buffs, he still dies pretty quickly once those shields are gone. So you need to know when to escape. I think that's a very important thing, and this is going to come with a lot of practice of using this hero. So once you get an idea of when you're about to die, you need to get the hell out of there and try and heal yourself up. But that is all the tips. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.